Hey, this is Alex Zouzlas, author of the book Courtroom Confidential, Everything They Don't Want You to Know About Lawyers and More. This is part one of the question, how could I represent someone I know is guilty? I can't tell you how many times I've been asked that question over the years. The good thing is people are curious about it, so let me explain. I practiced law for 30 years, and one thing I learned is sometimes things aren't what they appear to be. Let me give you a couple of examples. About 25 years ago, I was representing a guy, let's call him Marcus because I don't remember his name, who was charged with burglarizing a warehouse next to I-4 just south of Orlando. It was about 2 in the morning when the warehouse alarm went off and the cops were sent out to check it out. They get there, they see that a door to the warehouse has been pried open. They don't find anyone in the warehouse, so they start searching the area near the warehouse. That's when they found Marcus in his van parked on the side of I-4 right across from the warehouse. The hood of the van was open and it looked like Marcus was working on something in the engine compartment. Marcus explained that his van had broken down and he was trying to get it started. But when one of the officers told him to start it, it fired right up. Security footage from the warehouse showed someone dressed in dark clothing walking around the place shortly before the alarm went off. Well, Marcus was wearing dark clothing. Marcus was also really nervous, according to the police. They said he was shaking, sweating like crazy, moving around a lot, and tripping over his words. The warehouse had a gravel parking lot, and the police noticed there were pieces of gravel lodged in the tread of the van's tires. One of the cops looked through the windows of the van and saw a bunch of burglary tools in the back, including a crowbar, which could have been used to pry open the warehouse door. They asked Marcus where he'd come from. Marcus said he'd come from a job, but he couldn't remember the address of the place. And the cops thought it was a little weird that Marcus had been working so late at night. When cops ran his record, they saw Marcus had 3 prior burglary convictions. So they arrested Marcus, and the prosecution charged him with burglarizing that warehouse. We went to trial. Marcus was convicted. The judge gave him 10, 15 years. I don't remember exactly how many years he gave him. Gave him a long prison sentence because of his prior burglary convictions, and off to prison Marcus went. Marcus deserved it though, right? I mean, after all, he was obviously guilty. Fast forward 5 years. I'm sitting in my office talking to this new client who was charged with burglary. I didn't ask him, but the guy starts rattling off a list of burglaries he'd committed. Then he starts laughing. So when I asked him what was so funny, he bragged about burglarizing the warehouse Marcus went to prison for burglarizing. He thought it was hilarious as he watched from some bushes he was hiding in as the cops stopped and arrested Marcus. Mind you, he doesn't know that I represented Marcus on that burglary. This is just pure, strange, weird coincidence. I couldn't use what the guy told me because it was confidential, but even if I could, I didn't have to because I got Marcus's conviction reversed on appeal. Still, Marcus served a couple of years in prison when he shouldn't have served a day. So in Marcus's case, things weren't what they appeared to be. Let's take another case. Let's take the case of the Dorsey brothers. I don't remember their first names, so I'll call them Kevin and Evan. Kevin was arrested about a week after 10 witnesses said they saw him shoot this guy who had a long-standing beef with him. Let's call him Tony. Tony even ID'd Kevin as the guy who shot him. When the cops arrested Kevin, Kevin had a pistol on him, and it was a black pistol like the gun the witnesses said Kevin shot Tony with. Sounds like an open and shut case, right? I mean, Kevin was obviously guilty, so how in good conscience could I represent him? So now let's talk about the really interesting part of this. The cops arrested Kevin and his brother Evan, even though none of the witnesses said Evan had anything to do with shooting Tony. So why'd the cops arrest both brothers? Kevin and Evan were identical twins. The cops were playing it safe because although everyone had said Kevin was the shooter, it could have been Evan. You couldn't tell the difference by looking at them. Worse for the prosecution, their DNA was identical, so there was no way a jury could say Kevin, not Evan, shot Tony, or vice versa. Case dismissed. The point is, one of the reasons lawyers defend people who are obviously guilty is because a lot of times things aren't what they seem to be. Thanks for watching.